All right, folks, this is the Mad Outdoorsman coming back at you with another episode of Apocalypse Radio. And I've got a fresh, steaming pile of government incompetence to throw on the fire tonight. If you weren't already convinced that the system is crumbling, let's talk about the Washington, D.C. plane crash, a tragedy that didn't have to happen. But of course it did. And why? Because the very people in charge of keeping us safe are playing social experiments instead of doing their damn jobs. Let's go over the facts. An American Airlines jet with 60 passengers and 4 crew was coming in for a landing at Reagan National when it collided with an Army Black Hawk helicopter carrying 3 soldiers. Both aircraft went down, and now innocent people are dead. You'd think in one of the busiest, most tightly controlled airspaces in the country, we wouldn't have planes and helicopters smashing into each other like kids on a bumper car ride. But here we are. Now, was it an attack? In my opinion, no. Despite what some folks are whispering, I don't believe this was terrorism. This was most likely human error. But that doesn't mean we shouldn't be asking the hard questions. Like, why was the control tower understaffed? Reports say there was only 1 air traffic control personnel on duty handling both planes and helicopters, when there should have been 2. If there was some tiny airstrip in the middle of nowhere, maybe I could understand that. But Washington, D.C., the heart of U.S. air travel and government operations, unacceptable. This is gross negligence, plain and simple. The next question I have is, why don't military Black Hawks have standard black box recorders? You know, what's handy when you're investigating a mid-air collision? Having a damn flight recorder that tells you what happened. But apparently, these Black Hawks don't have them. So now, we have to piece this mess together from external air traffic recordings and blurry security footage. Pathetic. The military's budget is $800 billion a year. Billion with a B, guys. And they can't afford basic recording equipment? Give me a break. Another question I have. Who's really to blame here? Some folks don't want to hear this, but let's talk about the DEI infestation at the FAA. Check this out. 1 year ago, 11 Republican attorneys general warned the Biden administration that the FAA's hiring practices were putting all of us at risk. And what did the White House do? You guessed it, nothing. They just kept pushing their agenda, hiring based on diversity checklists instead of actual competence. And don't come at me with the, oh, but hiring diverse candidates doesn't mean they're unqualified. No, it doesn't have to mean that. But when you deliberately lower the bar and prioritize skin color, gender, or disabilities over actual ability, you get disasters like this. It's not a conspiracy, guys. It's a pattern. Remember when Buttigieg's FAA forced through DEI hires, including air traffic controllers with, quote-unquote, severe intellectual and psychiatric disabilities? Not my words, guys. That's their policy. If you're trusting your life to an air traffic controller who might have severe cognitive impairments, you're a fool. Sorry, but not sorry. This is what happens when ideology replaces meritocracy. People die. And sadly, guys, it won't stop here. So here's the takeaway, guys. You can't trust the system. If they can't even keep planes from slamming into each other in the middle of Washington, D.C., how do you think they will handle a bigger crisis, like a cyber attack on air traffic control, or a widespread power outage, or another 9/11 level event? They won't. They can't. Folks, the government is understaffed, undertrained, and overrun with bureaucratic parasites who care more about politics than safety. You need to take your survival into your own hands. The crash? It's just a symptom of the disease that's eating away at America from the inside. Every time we let ideologues replace professionals, we move one step closer to the abyss. And the people in power, they don't care. They'll never admit they were wrong. They'll just double down and keep making the same mistakes. So don't be a victim. Be prepared. Be vigilant. Be ready for anything. Because the next disaster, it's already on its way. Anyway, folks, that's all of the time that I have for tonight. If you enjoyed this content, I would appreciate it if you subscribe to my channel, if you haven't already. And perhaps hit that thumbs up button on the way out the door. By doing so, it helps my channel grow and reach a wider audience. This is the Mad Outdoorsman, signing off. Remember, stay sharp, stay strapped, and stay prepared. Until next time on Apocalypse Radio.